So, like, I guess fuck the whip build because it's not gonna work. Like, if it doesn't work in the base game, it sure as hell isn't gonna work in DLC. So, you know, fuck playing the game the way I want to, you know? It is what it is, whatever, fuck it. We'll just use one of the most overpowered busted weapons in the game and say fuck it, you know, and call it a day. It does suck, though, because I've already invested a shit ton of resources into these two weapons because I thought I would be using them, but, like, now it's apparent to me that I can't use them. Just doesn't make a lot of sense to me at all. What do I need for this? I need strength for that. Okay. So I can't use Morgoth's sword because Morgoth's sword doesn't do enough damage. I can't use the whips because the whips don't do enough damage. And they don't do any posture damage either. So I need to find a weapon that is going to cater to my playstyle for comfort and for actual ability to be able to kill bosses because I guess I can't use what I want in this game. And you should be able to, and you just can't. FromSoft themselves said use the items just recently because people crying about DLC difficulty. Yeah, with the fragments or whatever the hell they're called. So yeah, like, my problem now is, at this stage of the game, I don't have any investment to any other weapons. Like, I don't have any materials left over to be able to invest in anything. So I'm forced to use the whips that I've been upgrading because it's the only chance I have at killing anything. And if I happen to come upon a boss that, like, isn't, like, absurdly weak to bleed, I just am not going to be able to do anything, and the whips are not reliable enough. And that's not how the game should be built. You should be able to build whatever you want. Like, you should be able to use whatever you want, you should be able to build whatever you want. And I know I complain about this game a lot, but I try and do it with some substance. That way people can understand where my mind's at, instead of just emptily bitching about how the game is bad, you know? But, like, it's a really good game, it just has some structural flaw that I really think honestly needs to be ironed out. And the thing that I was told is that they buffed the whips, too. So, like, apparently whips have been buffed, but they're unplayable. They have too much commitment, and they don't do enough. There's not enough of a trade-off to want to use them. That's a really big problem. At least in my opinion, that's a very big problem. Because, like, the way a RPG should be constructed is you should be incentivized to use anything in the game. You should be able to use whatever you want. Everything should be viable. But that is the second boss in a row that I've tried to use the whips on, and it doesn't work. And I'm under the impression that the only reason the whip worked on Fortisax is because I was out-leveled for Fortisax, right? So, like, I was a little bit beyond what I should have been, but had I tried to fight Fortisax at a reasonable character level, it wouldn't have gone the same as it did. And that's not the kind of impression that I want to be given by an RPG, you know? Like, I want to know that what I've been building towards and what I'm trying to construct in my mind is going to be sufficient, and that's not the vibe that it gives you. And it's just kind of shit. Also, I went to the wrong place, didn't I? I don't think I held up the right medallion. I think I held up the giant medallion. So we have to watch this beautiful cutscene one more time. Oh, yeah, okay. I didn't see that before. Yeah, and they buffed him. I hate the difficulty of trying weapons and builds. I don't mind it. I just want the experimentation to be fruitful, you know? I want to know that what I have been building toward, because, like, I could understand, right? Like, if I was slacking on upgrades, okay, that would be one thing. But no, my whip is 21 and 22. That is nearly max level. I should not have to have max level weapons to be able to kill the fucking remaining bosses in the game. Like, my weapon should be fine, and it should be determinable that I can beat the boss with what I have. And I can't. And it doesn't feel very fair, and it doesn't feel very rewarding. And that's not the kind of impression or experience you want to give a player. So I guess what I'm going to do is when we end up getting to Farum Azula, is I'm going to do some experimentation and find a weapon that actually works and suits me. Just, like, fuck everything I use, right? Like, just nothing does any damage, you know? That makes perfect sense. Okay, I guess the whips are the best way to go here. Whips are certainly the best way to go there. So, I mean, like, that's kind of stupid, right? So, like, if I go into my stat investment, I have 35 in Faith, but it feels like nothing Faith does anything. The best thing you get out of Faith is the buffs, and the buffs don't even come in handy a lot of the time. You might be meshing with the playstyle or obviously more patience. For example, with others, it might be normal to go do 25 attempts and make their setup succeed, even if it's at a disadvantage. Well, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I was going into with Commander Niall when you came in and you said, oh, it's first try because I just got here. I had tried that boss like 5 or 6 times, and every single time I attempted the boss, I could roll his first attack, roll his second attack, and roll the third attack, and get the same result. I could never hit the boss, you know. There was never any incentive to play well and avoid his shit because I would always end up getting hit by something regardless of what I did. That's not what you want. Like, you want the boss to feel like it's well-tailored. You want the boss to feel like, okay, I've earned the right to hit this boss now. And that's not what you get. It just isn't. Like, it's simply just not what you get with that fight, and that's a bad fight. Fire Giant's just a little bit memey because it's a wide open boss area and he can reposition and roll around and do a whole bunch of wacky shit. So, like, that I kind of have a little bit more patience toward. Like, that makes more sense, you know? And, like, every time in the Fire Giant fight, I'm like, yeah, I mistimed my roll. I fucked up. Like, right there, I went for an attack when I should have. Not. That's not my fault because I can't roll. I can't roll out of any of that. It's just infinite stun lock. I can't roll out of that. I know they track with that, so I have to do an extra roll. Okay, I was gonna say, I don't know what that is. Yeah, it does a lot of blue balling. It's not that it's blue balling, it's that, like, they literally don't know how to program. And that's why I was saying, like, Elden Ring is easily their most ambitious title, but with their ambitious vision, they lose part of what formulaically makes FromSoft games. They just make shit too unfair, too one-sided. And it doesn't give the player ample room to be able to do the shit they need to do to emerge victorious like the old Dark Souls games felt. Like, Bloodborne feels that way. Sekiro feels that way. Dark Souls feels that way. This game does not. This game, it just feels like they gave everything a ludicrous amount of bullshit. They gave it unavoidable attacks. They gave things ridiculous hitboxes. They gave things monstrous AoEs, so even if you roll away, you still get plopped. Like, it's just why? You know? Like, it should be built better than that, and it's just not. And, like, I'm kind of sick of, like, the way that people stout that, like, every time Miyazaki makes a game, it deserves Game of the Year. Just arbitrarily. Like, no, it doesn't deserve Game of the Year if it has all these fucking constructural flaws. You know what I mean? Like, again, at the end of the day, it's still a very good game. It's a very ambitious game. It does a lot of things well. You know, and it has some of the coolest fucking boss designs I've seen this side of Soulsborne, right? But, like, I understand that it's difficult to balance an open-world experience. And, like, it's difficult to predict what players are going to do and how people are going to think, but I think whips need a buff. I think they need a bit of a buff. Their status application is fine. Their ability to stagger is far too low, and a little bit of their base damage needs to be adjusted. And then I think whips would be viable. Like I said, if I was fighting Commander Neil with max level whips, do I think he would have been beatable? Abso-fucking-lutely. Like, does it still feel like a fair fight? No. And it doesn't feel like a fair fight because you can't hit him without getting punished. And that's not how the bosses should be designed. Everything that I mistimed or misrolled or I got too greedy on, that's on me. That's on me. That's in my ballpark to readjust. That's fine. Because the ball is in my court. It's in my hands. I just gotta use it smart, you know? But making the boss absolutely unhittable without punishment is just bad design. Like, that's not good. Like, that's not what these games are built around. Like, there's a crystal snail. Explain to me how I can kill a crystal snail in, like, 3 fucking hits. Like, even though this is obviously not the right weapon type to be fighting a rock enemy. Like, if I had to switch up to a club or, like, something metal to strike it with, okay. Same thing with the Crystallians. I still think that mechanic is a little bit shitty, but at least it's understandable. It has some sort of dynamic complexity to it, rather than just being like, oh, your whips aren't strong enough, you know? Like, I almost, like Asaya was saying earlier, I feel like I'm playing the game at a massive disadvantage by using whips, and I really shouldn't be. And it's just because of the way the game has egregiously misbalanced them. Do I think the whips are adequate to be able to get through the game when it comes to the basic enemies? Absolutely. Are they adequate for boss fights? Absolutely fucking not. Of course. Of course. Thank you for the stone. How am I whipping the wall when I'm locked onto the fucking beetle and it's like over there? Okay. Why do I remember this area being very bad? How many runes do I have on me? I have 67 grand. Not exactly the kind of runes that I want to be toting around with, but that's okay. I think, for now at least. Okay, it's just giants, alright. Thought there might be something else. There's also this perfumer dickhead, but... I haven't seen one of those guys in a long time. Okay. Oh, I thought the popper was gonna fucking stab me with the sword right there. Is that a site of grace? No, it's not. Okay. They're just like weird little things to like light your way for the snow. Nice. Okay, I can outrange his stomps if I use the whips. Yeah, they're a little bit weak to bleed. They're not like hyper weak to it, but I should be able to put the big boy down. I was gonna say in a decent amount of time. I shouldn't be here for like 10 years. See, like, this is what I mean. Like, are whips viable for basic enemies? Absolutely. Is it viable for bosses? Fuck no. And, like, if I want to play the game with whips, I should be able to freely use the game with whips if I want to. And, like, this is why whips appealed to me so much, is because I've never used whips in a FromSoft game before. I've never used them. I thought it'd be really interesting to experiment with. So my idea was that I was going to make a build where I had very high bleed potential, and I would just zip around using Bloodhound Fang, or whatever, Bloodhound Step. And just, like, lash shit to death, you know? And, like, I thought that would be fun to, like, mix in miracles and shit, you know, like, with spell support and stuff for, like, range and, like... So, like, for example, I could keep one whip on me, but, like, keep my chime out, and then I could, like, Bloodhound Step, and then, like, do a Faith Cast. You know, and keep doing that, and, like, stay mobile. Like, that's kind of my playstyle. So, like, I thought it'd be fun to, like, do that kind of thing. But, like, come to find that the whips have absolutely no posture damage. Like, did you notice how even on Fire Giant and Niall himself, I was actually able to stun way more using the Pole Blade because of the consecutive hits than I was able to do with whips, even on account of the fact that I'm power stancing with whips? That means whips are not adjusted well. Like, that's a problem. Like, the whips need to be adjusted so that they actually do some sort of posture damage, so you can be able to do the same things as other weapons can. Now, the one downside to whips that you can't do is you can't do the riposte attacks, but it's fine. Because, like, the damage output for whips and the build status effects or whatever that you put on them should be more than sufficient. And it is. It's absolutely more than sufficient. It's more than enough. But the lack of posture means that you get absolutely no opportunity to be able to do it. And it just sucks. Like, whips need a little bit more posture damage to them. Now, like, if I can get a talisman or something that will increase the poise damage I do to things, I'm absolutely going to use it with the whips, but I don't know if such a thing like that exists or not. And that's the problem. And if it does exist, that's cool. I can find it and get it whenever. That's not a big deal. But if it happens to not exist, then all my investment for these two weapons is absolutely pointless, and it's null and void. And it shouldn't be. It should just be a giant applied change, I think. What's up, Jake? Welcome, brother. Welcome to Elden Ring. It's so hard to balance, like, 80 bosses and, like, 100 weapons and weapon arts? Absolutely. And that's what I've heard people complain about in the DLC, when it comes to it, is that, apparently there's something called, like, Erdtree fragments. And, what they do is they blanket, kind of even out your attacks, and they even out, like, what your capabilities are and what your defenses are against everything in the DLC. And my friend was saying that it was a very poor mechanic, and I was like, okay, well, if you, like, hear me out, think about how big of a DLC Elden Ring's DLC is. I've heard it's absolutely massive. It's a much easier, broader spectrum to just try and balance everything with the implementation of something like that, rather than trying to balance individual weapons, nerfing builds, nerfing bosses to try and compensate for the builds that you nerf, what's too strong, what's too weak, what has too much utility. Like, it just seems easier to just apply a blanket... I wasn't paying attention. It just seems easier to apply a blanket kind of... Okay, I had too much commitment right there. He was able to wind up before I could do anything. It just seems easier to apply a generalized balance mechanic and everything. I don't know why I was thinking mechanism. Maybe because I'm getting blown out with, like, frost fog, but, like, yeah. Like, it seems like it's that much easier to just implement a balancing mechanic. Yeah, I heard you, you little shit. Yeah, the game's going alright. Fire Giant kind of pissed me off, and Niall kind of pissed me off. I think Niall is a better boss than Fire Giant, and if I was fighting Niall with a weapon that, like, had capability of... Oh, shit. If I was fighting Niall with a weapon that had the capability to be able to hit and sprint, I think it would have been fine. But, like, I just didn't have that. Oh. Okay. I thought you were kind of just chilling out up there. Alright. I didn't think you would aggro. I thought I had to go aggro him. Whoops. That's fine. Swagger cat. That's okay. I didn't run that far, thankfully, so I don't really have that far to go. I'm more annoyed at having to waste a rune arc to be able to compensate for that, but that's okay. Not a big deal. I like how he was able to kill me with that slam attack from that amount of health, though. That is a little bit surprising. Be lurking again? No worries, dude. I'm just happy you're here. But you probably shouldn't be. Okay, where did I go? I ran up here, right? And then there's mist up here, so I gotta be careful. Yeah, I was gonna say, but I have to run and trigger it first. Alright, so plan. Run. Pick up runes. Fuck this little bastard. That should not have hit me. Okay, he's just programmed to open with that. Okay, that's the deal. So it wasn't like an RNG thing that occurred. He was just programmed to do that. Okay, this dude sucks and needs to die. I don't like that dude. What? Explain, please? Game, if you give me no capability to roll, I can't dodge the enemies. I don't know exactly what it is you want from me right there. Didn't exactly seem like that was a me fault kind of thing. Like, that seems like the game just fucking me in the ass right there. Like, that honestly does not feel like it was under my control whatsoever. Alright, so new plan. New plan. Okay, run up here. Hit this thing. Oh, I ran a different way, didn't I? That's right. I went down this corridor, and then I went to the right. And then there's a fog that comes over up the stairs here. So I gotta trigger it and activate it, and be careful of that. Oh, it stays down because I hit it before. Okay. Alright, so run over here. Hit this. Get it the fuck out of my way. Where's the little bastard? I'm not worried about the big cat. I'm more worried about the little bastard. Okay, little bastard doesn't seem like he's coming. Am I safe in here? I appear to be safe in here. He's fighting something else. He's fighting his inner demons out there. Okay, that's fine. Okay. If I hit him, do all the little shits come down, or is it just him? Just him, okay. That's good, that's what I want. Okay, we're gonna kill him. We're gonna come over, grab my runes. I just heard them drop down, that's fine. Game? No, come on, dude. I thought I pulled out my other whip. I'm surprised they let me sidestep that. I did not have any endurance. I got too greedy. Okay, there we go. Okay, they're down. Now what? Nothing in this room. I mean, there was the glove ward, I suppose, so there was the point of coming in here for that, but there's not really much other purpose to being in here, is there? Where's the big kitty? There's the big kitty. Does the big kitty get hurt by the frost? Kinda curious. Because if I can cheese the big cat, I will cheese the big cat. I do not give two fucks. He does get hurt, but he doesn't get hurt all that much. Okay. But I can't poise break the big kitty, which is the problem. Okay, so if I remember correctly, like, literally no spells do any damage to him, really, so I have to think of another way to take him out. Rocks, maybe? No, rocks don't do anything either. Okay, he turned around. He's not very happy with me right now. Oh. He can come in here. I did not think he'd be capable of doing that. Okay. I gotta find my interval. I thought I rolled that fine. I did not. Don't want to know. Okay, I gotta keep in mind that the frost thing is behind me, but it's only aiming that way, so that's fine. It's absolute bullshit, IMO. I really should have hit him right there. Okay. I was afraid he was gonna do that. Okay. Absolute bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Nice. Alright. I was lucky I had the interval to roll that right there, because I probably shouldn't have gotten away with that. What's up, Mibu? Hey, guys. Oh yeah, shit, that reminds me. Fuck. Thank you for reminding me, Mibu. I am such a fucking asshole for that. Where is Seraph? There we go. Let me give you your shouty before I forget. These are all your guys' people anyways. I'm sure you guys all know each other. Let me give you your shout, Mibu. We got our ass beat by Niall, and we got our ass beat by the Fire Giant, but other than that, we're doing okay. Niall was kind of a piece of shit for bad reasons. Fire Giant was a little bit more tolerable, but they both suck ass. Moral of the story is they're both garbage. So if anybody ever tells you that Fire Giant is a good boss, look them in the eye and fucking tell them that they suck cock and walk away. Tell them to choke a banana. So they're fucking wrong. How'd stream go, buddy? Did you get Apostle down? I hate these little bastards, they suck so bad. I really hope there's not more of these guys in the DLC, but I've heard there are. You did? Nice. Yeah, my Apostle fight, I think I fought him pretty early as well. I think I fought him around like 50, maybe 60. Because I think I fought him before I went to Radon, and I went to Radon at like level 63, 62. Oh, okay, there's a clean rod asshole in here. Okay, that's worrisome. I'm not very good at fighting those things, if I'm being honest. I kind of suck at fighting those. So rather than fighting that thing, I want to see what's up here. Great. And it sounds like there's some other stuff, too. Alright, so my plan is I'm going to go get that Glovewort, and then I'm going to pick up whatever the purple shiny thing is, and then I'm going to fucking sprint away from this thing like a fucking idiot. Okay, if he does a spin attack, I'm, like, absolutely fucked. Okay, that is precisely what I wanted. Nice. See ya, bitch! Oh, wait, I want that, too. Greed. Something I didn't need, of course, but I wanted it anyway. I wanted it all the same. Okay, so, knowing this game, he's probably still gonna be aggroed on me, but I don't think he'll be able to come down in here, so I'm just gonna fuck with the clean rock. They can bleed? Did not know that. Oof. Oop. Fuck you, get out of here, get bent, stupid bitch. Okay, never mind, those things are actually incredibly fine with whips. They're actually really tame. Did not expect that at all. Staircase, okay. I'm a little... Did not react soon enough. Absolutely my fault. Totally fine. What I was going to say before I was ever so rudely frosted in the face was that I'm wondering what the boss of this catacomb is going to be. A little bit worried about that. What's up, Doji? Welcome. Might be your first time seeing me. Might not. I rolled. Stupid imp piece of shit. I assure you, I'm a lot more philosophical and well-spoken when I'm in a chat than I am opposed to being in person. I'm a bit of a dick in person. I kind of sit here and fumble words. Thanks for the follow, dude. Let's hope I don't get... Oh, come on, man. How many? Is it just a... Of course not. 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 Of course it wouldn't just be one. Of course not. Come on, ladies. Come on, ladies. I have a plan. I don't know if it's gonna work, though. But I do have a plan. No, they're just gonna be spamming dicks. They're just gonna sit in that hallway. I was gonna come hit this thing. Wait, hold on. Okay. That's too much of a down angle. I'm not going to be able to do this the way I wanted to now. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do this the way I wanted. I was trying to hit the column to bring the freeze breath back up so I could hit them with it, but that's not going to happen. Evidently. Alright, so... Second thing I'm thinking about Yep, okay. Not gonna lie, that's a little bit bullshit. That might still work, though. Do it again. Yes. This will work. Now it's just a patience game. It's a waiting game now. And they're dumb enough to stand there like fucking idiots. Nice. How are invasions? Haven't tried any since DLC. I haven't either. I'm not really a PvPer. I'm more of like a PvEer, and even the PvE still gets me. Nice. Awesome. Good strats on my part. Well, thunk. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Okay, so now that this is clear, I can do another loop back up. This was the room with the imps that was clear, so I don't know why I'm going this way. Okay. Oh, I have to go across. Alright. So, Red, I thought you were an invader. Oh, yeah. I like to put on the camera and have lights going at the same time. I feel like it's a little bit more immersive. How did I... Oh, yeah, that's right. I went through the underground passage right here. I was trying to remember. That's kind of what makes these Souls games so hard for me, is because my memory is absolute potato. And beyond potato, it's absolute baked potato. Like, for example... I hit the statue. I knew that I had moved the statue back up, I just couldn't remember. Absolute piece of shit. Cleanrot helm, hell yeah. Helmia. Okay, what's in here? Ghost Glovewort 9, cool. Was it worth it? I don't know. So I don't know where my lever is. It must be up here. That must be where my lever is. Okay. Ah, there's my liver. Sick. Nice. Nice. Not a bad dungeon at all. That wasn't terrible. Died, like, what, twice? Not that bad. Okay, let's pop this rune. Hopefully I have enough to level. If I don't have enough to level, I'm fine going and losing my souls in the boss room. Good interval. Props to me for that. That was Donkey Kong Country skills coming in play right there. You have to do so much of that shit in that game. Especially in the swamp level, in the bayou after the volcano. Okay, so my door's over here then, yes. Alright. If this is an ulcerated spirit, I'm going to be fucking pissed. If it's anything other than an ulcerated spirit, I'm also going to be pissed. So I really hope it's not either of those two things. Okay, let me get down here, let me get all my flasks back, and let's go into the boss fight. I don't think I have enough to level. No, not quite. I'm like 6 short. 6 grand short. Fuck. There's nothing I can really use either, is there? No, not really. Shit. That's unfortunate. I could use my Giga Souls, but I don't want to use those. I don't know why, but I keep thinking I have both whips equipped when I don't. God, whips have so much range. Can't really be mad at that. Okay, let's see what our boss is. I don't know if I'm gonna take a rune arc for it yet. Depends on what it is. I will take the physic, however. I will start off with that. Seems like it'd be a good call. What the fuck is that? Oh, okay. Putrid, huh? Okay, he bleeds easy. Okay, but he can Scarlet Rot me, of course. I was gonna say, I can't see anything through that. Oh, this is a joke. It looked like I had the range to outspace that. Okay. Great Glovewort and Rotting Gravekeeper Cloak. Ooh, that sounds cool. You know what doesn't sound very cool, though? Dying to Scarlet Rot. Let's get the fuck out of here. That wasn't that bad. Bleed seemed to work really well on that guy. That's fortunate.